I'm on Team Massanet and this is Crash Course Literature. Today we are going to discuss, let me see, the short story The Stoat, written by the one and only John McGahern. So to start off, it's important to know what a short story is. Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a short story is an invented prose narrative shorter than a novel, usually dealing with few characters and aiming at unity of effects, and often concentrating on the creation of mood rather than plot.
Mr. Bassanetti, what's the difference between a stoat and a whistle?
Good question. A whistle is visually recognized and a stoat is totally different. According to the Oxford Dictionary definition, a stoat is the common ermine of Northern Europe, Asia, and North America, that is brown above and white below in summer, and all white in winter, that ranges from 9 to 15 inches. We are going to discuss the short story published in 1978 by John McGahern.
The story is narrated in third person by an unknown narrator and begins with a brief description of a long-legged student playing golf, who hears crying from the plants. As he approaches the sound, he encounters a dying rabbit, and at the same time glimpses a stoat slithering away from its prey. The student picks up the terrified rabbit and kills it with one stroke. He takes it with him back to his father's rented cottage. He finds his lonely father, who is curious to know if his son is alright with the fact that he is considering marrying a woman called Miss McGahern. The protagonist replies by saying how happy he is and how he believes that this is the right thing for his father to do. Days later, Miss McCabe and the protagonist's father are engaged. Things change when Miss McCabe suffers a heart attack. Although she survives, the old man shockingly decides he does not want to marry her anymore. He fears that she will have the same outcome as his late wife, and does not want to marry someone else. In the end of the short story, the narrator repeats a paragraph mentioned in the beginning, which describes how a stoat meets a rabbit.
The theme of the story is mainly selfishness. Why, you may ask yourself. Emma's gonna help us explain.
Well, this is because the narrator's father simply decided to end his relationship with Miss McCabe, despite the fact that he would probably hurt her.
He made the decision himself and completely dismissed her feelings,
Acting in a very selfish manner.
Mr. Bassanetti, don't forget the theme of death.
Right, I almost forgot. Another theme of the story is death and fear of death. Emma, do you know something about this?
Well, the story both starts and ends with a death scene, where a stoat is eating a rabbit. Additionally, during the story, the father of the long-legged student becomes scared of marrying Miss McCabe once the opportunity that she may die appears.
He's frightened that he may lose her and have to face marrying another wife.
Which is why we can say that one of the themes of this story is the fear of death.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, to understand the story correctly, it's important to know the brilliant mind behind it.
John McGahern was born on November 12, 1934 in Dublin, Ireland. He was both a short story and a novelist writer. He often wrote about Irish traditions and usually approached people's feelings. Besides the stoat, some of his most famous works include High Grounds, published in 1985, and The Collected Stories, published in 1993. In addition, McGahern also wrote an autobiography, published as All Will Be Well.
Quote time! Mr. Bassanetti, can you guess who said this quote and who it is talking about?
Sure. Let me see.
She's alright, he said. She just had a mild heart attack in the hot baths, but she still thinks we'll get engaged at the end of this month.
Trigger. Well, we know a man said it for sure because of the word he after the first sentence. So, we know it could be either the student, his father, or his uncle. Oh, I know! He says they are getting engaged, so it has to be the father. Yes, he's definitely the student's father. He's talking about Miss McCabe, who suffered a heart attack when she was at the soba. The father no longer wants to marry her due to the fact he fears she might die.
It is important to analyze the student's relationship with his father. Along the story, the father mainly focuses on finding a new companion, rather than having a strong bond with his child. Therefore, the student has a much closer relationship with his uncle, who he spends most of the summer with. Going back to the student's father,
As we mentioned before, he's obsessed with finding the perfect wife. Perhaps this symbolically represents the final paragraph, the stoat being the father and the rabbit being any woman who is not good enough for the man. In my opinion, this is the reason why the author makes such emphasis on this paragraph, mentioning it once in the beginning and once in the end. This is the quote that I am talking about. All night the rabbit must have raced from warren to warren, the stoat on its trail. Plumper rabbits had crossed the stoat's path, but it would not be deflected. It had marked down this one rabbit to kill. No matter how fast the rabbit raced, the stoat was still on its trail, and at last the rabbit sat down in terror and waited for the stoat to slither up and cut the bane behind the ear. He had heard it crying as the stoat was drinking its blood.
Can you analyze this quote, Mr. Bassanetti?
Sure. Let me see.
He's just found someone, a school teacher in her 40s. She's no beauty, but a shining light compared with the wrecks and battle axes he's been interviewing. Page 300.
This is probably said by the student, because he's talking about a man who interviewed a woman to be his wife. Moreover, we know that during the interviews, he was with his uncle, who is probably the man he's talking to. Finally, the school teacher in her 40s is probably Miss McGahern, who he will then become engaged to. Well guys, that was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And also, yeah.
Hello, welcome. Before we talk about the job, tell me a little about yourself.
Hello, my name is Isabella Terrizano, and I recently quit my job as a news reporter with the hopes of landing a better job.
Hello, my name is Emma Smith and I recently graduated from university.
Hello, my name is Optimo Snedin and I'm looking for a job with a higher pay in order to take care of my kids.
Interesting. Why are you choosing our company?
I have had over 5 recommendations to work here. All the comments I've heard are great.
After a long research, I concluded that this was my best option for my future, which is why I would love to work here.
What are your highest professional strengths?
My great ability is speaking, for sure.
I would have to say my ability to manage.
Probably my knowledge.
What do you consider to be your weakness?
Hard one. I often forget things.
I often tend to be late to places.
I hate talking with big groups of people.
Final question. What is your dream job?
Working for Crash Course, for sure.
Anything related to educating people through entertaining videos.
This one for sure.